morning, everybody. It's Monday. Why is it so mad on a Monday? There are so many things to cover. It is absolutely crazy. I've got a smile on my face because United won at the weekend. We're 1 point away from a top 4 finish. I'm turning my phone upside down because I'm now getting notifications through the roof. Oh, bloke is outside mowing the lawn. He hasn't turned up for like 4 weeks. I live in like a building. It's like shit. Shared accommodation. I don't really think you care about that. We're here. The show started. Just about got here on time. Good morning to everybody. Good morning to, well, I say good morning. I'm sure the comments this morning have been terrific down there. You can see the title of the show. Glazers threatening more delays. Protests going on over at Nice against the INEOS ownership. I'm going to be speaking about both of those things this morning. I'm going to be speaking about the 1-0 win against Bournemouth. I'm going to be speaking about the fact that we are 1 point away from Champions League qualification with Chelsea and Fulham to go. We'll speak about the women's team with a 97th minute winner against City yesterday to keep the slightly dim hopes alive of winning the title because of how good Chelsea are. But it's going to be a busy show. Anybody who says I'm 3 minutes late, you haven't been here long enough. Maybe I was a minute late today, but I just about got here on time. Good morning to everybody. Gary, good morning to you. Matt, good morning to you. We've got Matt Frost on Facebook, that is. Ant, good morning to you as well. Josh, you're there. Miss Teacup, Nicole. We've got Floris, that's a new name. Tikuzu, Mike82, Rotham. Got Paula. We've got Ricky, Fred, Chris, Gary, Josh, you're there as well. Alex, good morning. Plenty. Who's here watching from Facebook? T, you're there too. From Facebook, we've got George Emo. We've got Shane Wheeler watching from Facebook. We've got Freddie, Mundundo, Boney, K Boney, CJ Shooter. Good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. Wow. Your intro's too long, man. Stop it. Stop saying hello to everyone who's watching. Just talk to the news. I'm busy. I've got things to do. Get in the bin, Jose. All right? No offense to you. Although I did just offend you. Anyway, after that ridiculously long and boring intro, people, where I unbelievably politely say hello to everyone who's watching, it's insane. I can't believe anybody does that. The new episode of the podcast has gone out. We had a week off. I say we had a week off. Last week, I just had dodgy ears. I don't know what was wrong with my ears last week. Listen to enough shit, I suppose. Listen to enough of my own content, you would get bad ears. Anyway, new episode of the podcast went out this morning. It's me, it's Bao, and it's Jake, and it's a good one. I hope you enjoy the podcast. I really do like the podcast. I feel like it's something very different to everything that goes out. We've got the live shows here. We've got the research videos that go out in the afternoon. And on that one, you don't get a horrible, boring intro. Or maybe you do, just a slightly different one. So the podcast is available there. Thank you very much, Alex, for sharing the link. New episode's gone out today. If you can, genuinely, you know how I say how leaving a like on these videos does make a difference. If you can leave a 5-star review on that podcast, wherever you listen to it, Apple or Spotify, it makes such a difference. I cannot tell you how difficult it is to get a podcast off the ground. It really is, but you can help that. Anyway, after that ridiculous, horrendous long intro, I can't believe that is honestly one of the weirdest comments I've ever seen on this channel. Sorry, Jose. I like picking people out when they make silly comments. You made one this morning. Congratulations to Man United's women's team. 2-1 winners against City in the derby yesterday with a 97th minute winner. Very nice. Unfortunately, Chelsea also beat Arsenal. So I'm pretty sure now, if we were to take a look at the Women's Super League, I think there's only one game left, and it's Chelsea's to lose, isn't it? Women's Super League. Let's have a look. So there is one round. There's one game left. United got Liverpool away. And we are, 2 points behind Chelsea. It's a real shame. It looks like the women's team is going to fall just shy of winning the title this season. But we've now qualified for the Champions League next season, the women's team. The men's team are 1 point away from it. Could get both within the space of a week. Big progress from the women's team and hopefully continue big progress from the men's team. Now, something I want to do today to leave this for the poll on the show, right? Let me get this. In fact, I won't do it yet. I'll speak about it. Over the weekend, I decided to generate some concepts of what Old Trafford could look like. You might have seen this on Twitter. You might have seen this on Instagram. And yeah, They're different concepts of what Old Trafford could look like. I use an AI generator, and I want to run through the 4 concepts, right? And then I'm going to leave a poll up to ask you which one you prefer. This one is concept A. Very different looking stadium. Very steep, massive sides, really, really tall stadium. Still got the same sort of Old Trafford roof up there. So that's concept A. Concept B, more of a traditional shape, the big bowl shape, I suppose. But significantly, but I mean, look at how is that? 4 tiers, 4 tiers? Huge. This one, I really do like. I really like the look of this. This takes in like sort of, I think the thing that for a lot of people is iconic to United is the white scaffolding structure on the outside of the stadium. But that's concept C there, and that is concept D. All completely different ones. As I said, AI generated, and I just want to know from you what you think. Which concept do you prefer? Which concept do you prefer? Right? We go for A, B, C, or D. I want to leave that for the community for the show. I'll be interested there. And as I said, that's concept A. That's concept B. That's concept C. And that's concept D. But yeah, so just let me know. I thought it was interesting to look at those as concept designs. I didn't know how good AI could be. And I was like, my God, AI is dangerously scary. That's what I would describe it as. It's going to really, really change society. I hate to be coming with a bore, but yeah, just watch how society. I think I grew up in a time when it went from analog to digital. And I remember I think I was in year 8 at school when someone was like, you ever used this website before called Google? And I was like, what's Google? I was too busy using Yahoo and Ask Jeeves. And then obviously that was the start of the internet taking over. This is going to be the big change, I think, when AI really starts to come into it. But come on, let's talk about the football. The dude's back with his lawnmower. Hasn't been here in like 3-4 weeks. Turns up now. Bastard. Anyway, this is the Premier League table. Let's talk about the football, all right? For the next 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to be speaking about the game against Bournemouth before I move on and speak about the 2 headline talking points of today's show. We're speaking about the Glazers threatening to more delays, and we're speaking about the protest going on at Nice. I'm also going to do a lunchtime video on that today to cover it in full depth. Oh, look at that. He stopped his lawnmower. What a bloke. But the Premier League table, man, we are looking good. Everything's been in our hands, right? And we had a serious wobble. Away to Brighton and away to West Ham. It was, let me get that in the middle. Yeah, it was more than, I suppose it wasn't more than a wobble because we still got it in our hands, but it was a serious wobble. We had that buffer and we lost that buffer with those consecutive away defeats. And there was a real fear going into this game at the weekend because it was away. We beat Wolves 2-0 at home comfortably. Let's be totally honest. But everybody had that voice at the back of their head going, well, it's just United away. It doesn't really matter that Bournemouth are mid-table and sort of on the island already. They're already safe from relegation. They're not really going to move up in the league. But United did the job. And United now, as is the title of the podcast, we are 1 point away from securing Champions League football for next season. If we mess it up from this point, that would be some catastrophe. We'd have to lose our last 2. We haven't lost a Premier League. When was the last Premier League home game we lost? I know Real Sociedad in the Europa League. Was it first day of the season? Was it Brighton on the first day of the season? It might be. I don't know, actually. But this man has got us from where we were last season to where we are now, and that the progress is significant. Yeah, look, you're all saying it was Brighton on the first day. That's what I mean. So for United to miss out in the Champions League, we have to lose 2 games in a row at Old Trafford in the Premier League, having not lost one there since the first day of the Premier League season. All right? that would be a catastrophe on a mega scale. That game at the weekend there, United have missed. This is what I said in the podcast, right? I said United have missed so many easy chances over the whole season, but it feels like more so in these last 4 or 5 games. And then Casemiro goes and scores that. Eriksen with the pass, Casemiro with the finish, the big man himself. He's on the mannequin. Look how happy he is. Look how happy he is. Of course he is. I'll score on that bad boy. Ridiculous finish. A ridiculous goal. Just the finesse of the pass from Eriksen and the twist and the finish from Casemiro. It's like, why can't we just score like the simple goals? Why? But the spectacular one there. SS, you're saying, look, we can't do it the easy way. Well, that's the definition of that. Now, Ten Hag was speaking about him after the game. It's what he said. He goes, we know him. He has very good organization, positioning, anticipating, intercepting the balls, winning duels, a fighter, keeping the team together. That's a lot of things, a lot of commas in this. Jeez, how many commas do you want to get in one bloody sentence, dude? Anyway, Ten Hag said Casemiro's good, right? And he is good. I asked this in the poll. Not in the poll. I asked in the podcast to the lads. And I want you to answer this in the comments. What do you make of Casemiro's form over these last, I don't know, about the same period, like about 4 to 6 weeks? He's been up and down. Bal made the point that, since his second red card, it feels like he's sort of playing within himself. Because he had a whole career in La Liga without getting one red card, and he comes to play in the Premier League, and he's like, oh, God. But Casemiro's been up and down, just like Manchester United have been up and down. He was man of the match against Bournemouth, not just because of the goal, but just because of how we controlled that midfield. It was a really Eriksen was in space constantly. Bournemouth weren't pressing us. Let me see what you're saying about Casemiro. Olivia, you're saying the referee's a mess with his head. He wobbled after the official. Quite a few of you are saying that he seems to have been changed by the red cards and sort of agreeing with Bow. And I think you're kind of fair. I think that's a fair point. And it's something that he's going to have to adapt to and improve next season, isn't it? He has to. Because if he plays the same way next season, he has missed 8 games. No, 10 games? 8 games. I think it's 8 games through suspension. 8 Premier League games. What's that as a percentage? Let me see if my percentages work better today than they did the other day, because that was absolutely horrendous. 21%. I think it's about 20. I think it's about 20% of the season. I think roughly thereabouts. Vishal, you're saying, what's the poll about? The poll is this, right? We've got 4 concepts that we've created through AI for what Old Trafford could look like. That's concept A. That's concept B. That's concept C. And that's concept D. I want you to vote in the poll which one you actually prefer. Let me pull that one up there. That's Ten Hag. That's Casemiro again. It's too early in the morning to do maths. Oh, jeez. I've done everything this morning. It was a wild rush to get here on time. I'm pretty sure we were on time. Oh, man, look at that. Eh? The best community in the world. Jay, it is the best community in the world with the worst intros in the world. That's going to stick in my head all week, that is. Jeez. Oh, shit. Guys and girls, the software is getting close. I can't tell you how much work I've been putting in behind the scenes on this software, but it is going to be such a level up. We might even get phone-ins. Wait, hold it there. Hold it there. Let's not get too excited. You know what I remember the weekend? I didn't do the arms. I said the arms was coming back. Can I delay the arms until the start of next season, and then we can just pretend that I haven't just sort of like given false promises? Maybe? You let me off? Jordan, you're saying you like A. A lot of people like A. Not everyone does. Matt, you're saying when a Facebook poll's coming. Yeah, I'm working on all of that. Trust me, dude. There is a lot to do. I wish if it was simple, hey, it would have already been here a long ass time ago. But the fact that we stream to YouTube and Facebook, 2 things coming in at the same time, it is nay easy. No easy. Anyway, Casemiro, right? As I said, we're focusing on the football first before we speak about the takeover news. This is what Casemiro said about Ten Hag. Because Ten Hag there, waxing lyrical about how good Casemiro is. This is what Casemiro said about Ten Hag. I'm going to pull this up here. He said this is Andy Mitten's article for the National, I believe, National News. This is what he said. He has surprised me a lot with his ambition. We have been talking among us and we have been saying that he is a little bit heavy because he always likes to win. He's asking for more because for him, 100% is not enough. We have to give more than 100%. He works a lot and is very ambitious. He has the ambition to change the whole club. He is a manager who has the respect from all the players and the fans as well. But I think we need to give him time because despite the fact that we have already won one title and are quite close to the Champions League, we need more time to grow up. We can see he is changing a lot of things within the club and he is always showing ambition to win. I tell you what, that is an absolute corker of an interview there from Casemiro and some really positive comments from Casemiro. One sec, there we go. There you go. Some really, really positive comments from Casemiro. Now, Erik Ten Hag isn't in the running for manager of the season. And my reaction to that, I honestly, personally, I couldn't give a toss. I don't care. I don't care what anybody outside of our football club is thinking, looking inside our football club, and whether or not he deserves an accolade. It doesn't change anything for me. I just want to focus on what's going on internally. And what Ten Hag has done has been brilliant. From where we were to where we are, massive progress. And I think the thing, it's this. The thing about Ten Hag, that comment there, right? We have been saying that he is a little bit heavy because he always likes to win. The thing with Ten Hag is, and he mentions it right down there, right? Where is it? Where is it? Where it says that? He works a lot and is very ambitious. So Casemiro is saying that Ten Hag can be a little bit heavy. He's allowed to be because he puts in the graft himself. Remember that interview that we covered from Steve McLaren before Ten Hag even took the job, or as he took the job, before he managed his first game? He said he's relentless. He's meticulous. He's an obsessive in a right sort of way. Because Ten Hag is putting in the hard yards, he's allowed to demand that from his players. If Ten Hag was turning up late, leaving early, not really putting a shift in as a manager, he couldn't be commanding his players to do that because they'll be like, why am I going to listen to you? Like, you do a half-assed job, I'll do a half-assed job. But the players can't do that because Ten Hag is all in, has that ambition. And look, for Casemiro to say that, this is a dude who's won, 5 Champions Leagues? He's been at the biggest club in the world. He's worked with the best managers. He's worked in the biggest pressure boiler environments. Casemiro knows an ambitious leader when he sees one. And Casemiro is a bit of a leader. Do you we don't need to have this question until there's more prevalent questions, but as to whether Bruno Fernandes should get the armband full time, just part of me feels that to take it away from Bruno would be Ten Hag's way of saying that you've not done enough. And I kind of think he has. But let me see what you think about that comment from Casemiro. Miss Teacup saying, I don't think Ten Hag cares about being manager. No, Ten Hag will not care at all. And I'm not offended by it. I don't care. Like, cool, give it to Unai Emery, give it to Marco Silva, give it to whoever you want. We're fine where we are. We don't need an accolade from the Premier League to tell me how good my manager has been, and neither does he. There's a couple of super chats there. Let me read these out before I miss these. Jordan, you're saying he's definitely in the running for the manager of the seas. He's a manager of the seas. The greatest pirate that ever did live. Erik Ten Hag. God, as if I just did that. May as well end the stream now. May as well sack the channel off. Damn it. Alex, you're saying, can we have a chat about the least pens in the Premier League? Certainly doesn't help with top 4. I'll tell you what, it's something that I kind of felt at the time. It's definitely true, I think. It's ever since that decision we got against City with the Rashford and the Bruno offside that wasn't offside in the derby, our decisions have just gone. We have not got many. And after Klopp, remember Klopp came out and said that United got too many pens. Those two things combined, I think so anyway. I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just said Erik ten Hag. Jordan, I blame you. I blame you for that. What else are you saying down here? Jonathan, you're saying, do you think we're in danger of losing Erik ten Hag? Let me pull that up. If the Glazer mismanagement continues and they do not sell. I think I've read that in an article. What is it? The Telegraph. You're saying that that's one thing that United... There's only one thing that United have got to worry about when it comes to Erik ten Hag, and it's losing. That's the only fear that anybody should have. I think we all... Do we all even... maybe we don't. I'm sure maybe there might be some people in the comments. I'm sure you can come out of the woodwork if you're there. Are there people that don't back? Are there any United fans that don't support Ten Hag? That don't think he's the right man? Because I'm not sure there's been quite such a unanimous feeling among United fans post-Fergie about a manager at the club. Mourinho, the fan base was kind of split before Mourinho came in. David Moyes, wow. Let's not mention David Moyes. Louis van Gaal felt like a fair appointment at that time, but again, it was probably split. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, well, at the point where he came in, we all needed him, but there were so many people that doubted his overall credentials to get us back to winning the Premier League, which ultimately were proven correct. Carl Perkins, you're saying you don't support him because of his team selections and poor substitutions. Those team selections and poor substitutions, Carl, that have put us 1 point away from Champions League qualification with 2 games to go. Those team selections and substitutions that have won us the League Cup, our first trophy in 6 years, that have got us to the FA Cup final. Man, Europa League, we won't speak about that, especially if your name is Bow and you're going to get upset because you're not going Budapest. I love the bloke, man. We finally got the right man in charge. However, I can't have that same confidence and feeling about our ownership. And it feels like the right time for us to move on. Actually, no, let's not quite move on. Because I'm not sure if you saw this at the weekend, but there was it was from Ten Hag's press conference. It was just an interesting thing. I don't know, it just happened after Casemiro, I think. I don't know.
Bona tarda, Laia Coll de RAC1. S'ha parlat molt de...
Casemiro! La 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 la. Casemiro! La 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 la. Ni se lo cree che remate pateó a Bruno Fernandes.
That's one of my favorite things that I've made. I'm so glad I kept that video there because I thought I'd lost it. That's such a good video, if I do say so myself. Anyway, that seriously needs to get made to a t-shirt. I don't know why I still haven't done it yet. Anyway, I've been distracted. I've got a smile on my face. Let's turn that frown upside down, other around. Anyway, let's speak about the Glazers. Let's speak about what's being said about the takeover. Now, it's not that I'm taking this with a pinch of salt, but I'm labeling it as a threat. I'm labeling it as a threat, all right? Because I feel like it is a threat. Glazers may delay Manchester United's sale until the summer. Well, the summer is like 2 weeks away, right? The season ends on Sunday. We've got Chelsea on Thursday. Well, Premier League season there. Chelsea on Thursday, Fulham on Sunday. The Premier League season is done. It's mad. This time next week, the Premier League season is finished, kaput. And then we've got the FA Cup final coming up. Boy. But if they delayed it until the summer, that would be after June the 3rd. That's the FA Cup final day. Let's read through this article and see what ESPN are actually saying, all right? And Rob Dawson. Manchester United owners of Glazer family are considering delaying a decision about whether to sell the club until after the season ends. And this is what he's saying down here. One of the reasons for the delay, according to one source, is that the Glazers are still trying to come to an agreement about their future with the United, particularly because Joel and Abraham Glazer are reluctant to give up their stake. It's something that's been, this has been not effectively the only conversation. This has been the sticking point. This really, really sums up the Glazers' ownership of the football club. You remember last summer, I remember us specifically having conversations around this, around the transfer process at Manchester United. And how, if Man United, in negotiations, for example, everything had to get signed off by Joel Glazer. And therefore, Man United had to wait to hear that response from Joel Glazer. So everything was just delayed. Everything is just slower, cumbersome, like walking through treacle. That's the definition of the Glazers' ownership of Manchester United. And this is just another example of it. In my opinion, and again, this is just an opinion, this feels like nothing more than a threat. I don't really, because honestly, try and think about this before you leave a comment. Can you give me a reason why it would benefit the Glazers? Like, you might not like the answer, but genuinely, I'm curious. Can you think of a reason why they would gain anything from delaying it anymore? Because I can't think of one logically. Like, the bids are in. There's no magical bid that's going to appear. The value of Manchester United is not going to all of a sudden fly through the roof if we beat City in the FA Cup, because transactions of this scale will not get affected by that. Like, this is what I mean about this. It's why it feels like a threat. Jason, you're saying more money from Qataris. Like, they've already put that extra fourth bid in. It's what I mean. That's why I labeled it as a threat. It feels like a threat. Ian, you're saying a sure Champions League. Like, you're clutching at straws to give me a genuine reason as to why a delay could help them in any way, shape, or form. That's the way I see it. Maybe it's because I want to see it that way. Oh man, Max, how you doing, dude? Legend. Max been helping in the background with the website, which is very close. There she is, very close to getting its launch. Well, not the full website. It's going to be the landing page, just to get you excited. And that's nearly launching. Wayne on Facebook saying, finally managed to catch you live. Good morning to you, Wayne. I apologize for the horrendous intro. I'm so happy you managed to make it through the intro. But speaking about the Glazers, I'm sure you've seen this morning from The Athletic. Avram Glazer charged Manchester United. Manchester United paid for this. £250,000 for a private jet. 250 grand. Oh, look, there you go. Oh, my bad. I've read that a little bit wrong, actually. I forgot about that. He charged the club's accounts 250 grand for that flight in and out of the League Cup final. Now, devil's advocate here, he's the owner of the club. He can put that business expense against it, right? You go down here, you see the price there, 250 grand. This one here. Even in the context of private jets, his journey was at the very top end. Footballers often hire their own for holidays at a price of around £50,000. So that's 5 times more expensive. And also on top of that, this. Glazer's trip to Qatar for the World Cup when he took his family came at an even higher travel cost than his visits to England. Again, it was paid for by United as a business expense. I'm just here for the football. What, you're just here for the football, but Man United have paid for your whole family to fly from Florida to Qatar just for the football? Make your fucking mind up. Because you cannot be there just for the football and charge it as a business expense against Manchester United. It's almost like he's lying. Honestly, it's almost like he's lying. I don't know. And I bombshell here this morning. He might be lying. What do you mean might be lying? He's lying through his fucking teeth. So if it was 250 grand for the League Cup final, I don't know, maybe the flights are slightly cheaper for when the Women's FA Cup final was. Don't know. But that might be 250 grand again. That's 500 grand. Plus the flights to Qatar, you might be looking somewhere north of 500 grand, somewhere between $500,000 to $1 million on the Glazers' private jets at a time when Manchester United are losing money as a business. I mean, what more do you want about our owners? It's just, They are dirty, dirty leeches. They really are. As I said, they are the owners of the club. They can put these sorts of expenses on the club. Certain ones. The Qatari ones, I'm like, what? That's the one that pisses me off the most, I think. He took his whole family to Qatar. I suppose it doesn't really, when you're going on a private jet, it doesn't really matter whether it's one person or 30 people because you've got the whole jet, right? But it's, don't know. Tommy, you're saying if they can't take out dividends, they will run up expenses. It's a pretty fair point there from Tommy. They just need... My instinct here on this, here, said here twice, just in case you didn't remember that, is that this feels like a threat more than anything. I can't logically think of a reason why delays help them anymore. The value of Manchester United will not go up and down significantly because whether or not we beat City in the FA Cup final. It might spike artificially, but if you're purchasing the club, you are not doing so on the value of Manchester United on a day-to-day basis. You're basing that on a level value that will be according to something that goes off the last few years and also projections for the next few years. You don't make it off the back of whether you win 1-0 at a weekend or not. That's not how business transactions of that scale happen. So it feels like a threat more than anything else. I'm going to quickly go back up here. I'm going to pull the poll up and see what the poll is saying so far, right? So we've got nearly 1,000 votes, legends, right? Let's get these up. There are four concepts. This is a bit of fun. It's what concepts are. It allows you to visualize things and to debate it as a community. This is concept A for a new Old Trafford, concept B for a new Old Trafford, concept C for a new Old Trafford, and concept D for a new Old Trafford. And right now, let's have a look at the poll, but I believe this is the one that is leading the way. We've got 43% of you are saying concept A, 22% of you are saying concept B, 24% of you are saying concept C, so just about the second place, and D is getting a paltry 11%. But it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Of course, that all depends on the new owners. And then we need to come on to this next point. Now, you'll remember that I had an interview with Luke Entwistle, who's actually written this article about what's going on at Nice. And we spoke in depth about how the INEOS ownership of Nice in these first few years, it's not gone right at all. Lots of mismanagement, lots of indecisions and wrong decisions have put the club into the position they're in this season, which has led to these protests. Now, Luke Entwistle was actually saying behind the scenes, Nice is structurally probably in the strongest position it's been in a while to move forward, but it's reached a real low point. And that's where this conversation needs to be had this morning. Crisis at Nice. Fans protest as Captain Dante criticizes the club management. Now, as is the case in, I don't know if it's the case in every single European club, but certainly outside the Premier League, Nice have got sets of ultras, just like PSG do. I don't know. Is it every single European league? I don't know. I know Bayern Munich do. I know Dortmund do. I know it's a Bundesliga. I know it happens in Serie A too. Not sure. Anyway, the Nice ultras protested against the game, so they didn't go to the game at the weekend. And there's going to be people who say, "Oh, Sam, why can't they do that at Old Trafford?" It's like, I can't be bothered to explain that to you anymore. It's easy. It's easy. It's not to say it's not easy. It's far easier to do that when it's a regional club like Nice, when you've got the fans, 90% of them are from the local region. It's far easier to organise a protest, a boycott on a wider scale than at Manchester United at Old Trafford, which is one of the three. All right, try and empty the Bernabeu. That would be a fair comparison. Try and empty Barcelona. Yeah, fair comparison as well. Anyway, this isn't about that. This speak about this protest for us. I'm start getting moody and speaking about that stuff there. This is what Dante has said, right? Club captain. I think at some point you have to be clear in what you're saying. To maintain a project, maybe you need to speak less about objectives and work in silence to create an environment of competitors, because the expectation is even bigger, and then after, people are frustrated. Sorry, everyone down there. Ravi's getting bored, so I'm going to have to end the stream now. All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining. No, Ravi, sorry, just you can leave, my friend. This isn't boring. It might be boring to you, but it's just the future of my football club. So, no, I will speak through it, and I will continue to do so. Well, my word, have we debated the right owners of this club? And hell no, I'm not doing that again this morning, because I am sick to the back teeth of it. So I'm not bored of talking about it. I'm tired of talking about it. Yeah, it's a very different thing to being bored of talking about it. But this, you can't really ignore. Jesus. As I've said, everybody knows that I'm still on the fence as to who the right owner is. And this is exactly why. Because there is no perfect new owner of Manchester United. Woo! Don't know why I sang there at the end. This is true. And this does not reflect well at all on INEOS, because the fact of the matter is that they have got it significantly wrong at Nice in the first few years of their ownership. As I said, Luke Endworth, maybe I can do a follow-up interview with Luke. I'm going to cover this in far more detail with a video at lunch. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to look at what the statements were from the Nice Ultra fan groups. I'm going to look at what the reaction was in the local press. Because I really want to sort of deep dive into this a bit more. But on the surface, it certainly doesn't reflect well on, as I said, Jim Ratcliffe or INEOS and the decisions that they have made thus far as owners of Nice. All right. What else? What are you saying down here in the comments? Jackie Liu saying no perfect owner, but one choice is significantly better than the other. And Jackie, that all depends on where your priorities lie. And this is where the takeover debate among fans has become so vociferous. Because if you hold one certain aspect as, you just want an endless, you never want to have to worry about money ever again. Then the Qataris and the Qataris are your leaders, and that's the only bid for you. But there are different aspects of a bid that certain people hold more importance to. And there are, if you honestly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, if you can't understand why some United fans would just be diametrically, almost part of their consciousness against state ownership or links to a state ownership, then you really just don't understand what's happened in the Premier League since City came in our city, let alone just the Premier League. And we just had to watch City win 5 out of the last 6 with 115 Premier League charges against them. Man, honestly, I'm tired, Robbie. I'm looking forward to us having a decision, and then we can debate and pull apart and scrutinize that from every single angle. But until these damn leeches, just make your mind up. And it's Joel and Avram. It's just two greedy dudes who just want more and more. Man, it's mad how powerful and rich people, they just want more. They just want more. It's crazy. It's absolutely mad. It's absolutely crazy. Really, really is. I can't understand it. Well, I'm nowhere near that rich, so I never will be able to understand it. The big Marvinsky. That sounds like an absolute don of a username, and he is a don because he just gifted 5 memberships. Lucky 5. Who are the lucky 5? Jeez. Let me see. Let me read some names out from the big Marvinsky. Anyone watch The Big Lebowski? Man, that's 10 out of 10 film. Steve Ice Williams, Kenito Kenya, Neymar-ish. Oh, Ravi Singh. You got bored, then you got gifted a membership. Oh, that's funny. That is funny, man. KZ, how you doing? You got gifted one as well. Man, that is funny. Let me see what you're saying down here in the comments. No doubt they're very happy. What are we saying down here? Bobby's saying, have you seen the latest report about Dean Henderson and Nottingham Forest? That is coming up next. We're going to have a little tiny chat about transfers. There's a couple of talking points I want to speak about. Can't wait until this is done, man. I can't wait until this is as I said, I just want to talk about football. Just want to talk about, because I find I've got more belief in our football team and our manager than I care for as long as I care to remember. I want that same belief and confidence with what's going on behind the scenes, and I just can't have it right now. I just can't have it because I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's coming. But honestly, that's put such a smile on my face. Ravi saying he was bored, and then he get gifted membership. Well, you got to stay here, man. Now you're part of the community. SS, you're down there saying killing Ravi with kindness. That's exactly. This really is the best community in the world. And if you can take 1 second, please drop a like on the video, ladies and gents. It does help the channel. What's the poll saying now? 1,115 votes, and 44% of you still saying concept A. We'll run through that towards the end. Before I quickly move on to the last talking point, if you can, have a listen to the podcast. New episode just got released today. The link is in the description. Let me just post a link down here as well for you. Go to this. The link to the podcast will be on there. All right. There we go. Giles with the worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Don't listen to me at 1.75 speed. I'm bad enough at 1. Actually, no, to be fair, you get through me nearly double as quick. So the pain would last just under half the time. Well, just over half time. But look, I thought this was an interesting point here because I think this will definitely... Now, we've been linked, of course, with 2 main players from Napoli. Victor Osimhen and Kim Min-jae. Kim Min-jae. I've been told it's Kim Min-jae. I'm going to keep saying it's Kim Min-jae now until someone goes, oh, it's not Kim Min-jae, it's Kim Min-jae. Anyway, Spalletti might be leaving. And I thought that was a really interesting one. I never would have thought about it, but apparently Napoli's owners do kind of fall out with managers. So if he does leave, I mean, the gates are open, right? And the reason he would probably leave is because he's being told behind the scenes, yeah, we're selling Osimhen. Yeah, we're probably going to be selling Kim Min-jae. Yeah, we're probably going to sell a couple more players. We're going to cash in. They're not going to be worth any more than they're worth this year, and then Spalletti won't like that. I thought that's an interesting one because that will pretty much. I don't know who's going to be able to afford Osimhen this summer. I'll be totally honest. I think he's going to cost. I think he'll cost like in the region of 30 to 40 million more than Kane. That's what I think. It's going to be a lot for Kane, given his age. But what do you think about that, Spalletti? An interesting one and a talking point, which was just mentioned there before. That's a different one. Just mentioned there before is this. Nottingham Forest, because they secured their Premier League status. Congratulations to them over the weekend by beating Arsenal. Can we just have a little? And it's what I asked the lads on the podcast. I said, what word can you possibly use to describe Arsenal and what they've done in the last, 9 games? Thereabouts. How can you describe it as anything else apart from a massive bottle job? Just lost against Nottingham Forest at the weekend. Lost to City. 2-0 up against West Ham. Drew. 2-0 up against Liverpool. Drew against Southampton. Boy. Paltry results when it mattered the most in that final 20% of the season Doesn't matter how good you are for that 80%. If you get that 20% wrong, which is what Arsenal have done. Whew. Anyway. The Telegraph, John Percy, is saying that Nottingham Forest are going to go back in for him. Now, they got Keylor Navas. I don't know whether they signed Keylor Navas on loan, or I think they signed him on loan. But sign him, man. Sign him, please. And you're saying it's inexperience. Yeah, inexperience is a fair way to describe it, but it's the same. It's when it just got twisted and it got cranked up. And look, City just turned into a T1000 from Terminator, man. They did. City were just relent, and that's what fills me with fear about the FA Cup final. But hey, United have beaten them this season. We had a plan and it worked. We know exactly what we did. In that, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, that game against City at Old Trafford, was that where Ten Hag put Fred on a bit of a man marking job on De Bruyne in the first half, and then in the second half we kind of hit on the transitions. I think that's how we played against City, and I'm pretty sure it worked. Rashford obviously got the late winner after Garnacho twisted somebody's blood. Can't remember who that was. No, I'm nervous about it. It's not I'm not looking forward to it. I'm crapping myself at the idea that game against City. Wow, just crapping the idea. Ian, you're saying it's not. You're talking about the Arsenal. You're saying it's not inexperience. It's a lack of inner toughness. Well, that's kind of all linked together, really. I think so. Anyway, what we're saying down here. Jibak, you're saying here, do you know any City fans who don't like Sheikh Mansour? I don't know any City fans. I think anybody knows any City fans. Do City fans actually exist, or are they just mirages? I don't know. But for a club who's won 5 out of the last 6, you'd imagine there'd be more of them. Crap club. Crap club. Anyway, unfortunately, very good at football, but crap club. Alex, thank you very much, dude, for super chat. What are you saying, sir? If Forest buy Henderson and De Gea turns down reduced wage contract, what do we do? Sign Ray as a stopgap? I don't think De Gea is turning down the contract now. I think everything's pointing towards that contract's going to be signed. But I don't know. I don't think we. Again, my gut's not right half the time, so let's just remember that before I say this. My gut is that we're probably not going to be signing a top-level goalkeeper this summer. I think if we sign someone, Alex, it will probably be a younger goalkeeper that will be like a backup. And that's why I think setting Dean Henderson for Dean Henderson, come on, man. You're talking 30 mil at least. How can he not get 30 mil for him? He's English. How old is he? Like 24? Is he even 24? Oh, he's 26. Shit. Anyway, he's 26. He's got 7, 8 years, as long as he stays injury-free, at the top level left. English, Premier League proven. Right, 30 mil minimum. This is what we should be getting for Dean Henderson. Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Anthony Martial, Alex Telles, Brandon Williams, Phil Jones is gone, Axel Tuanzebe is gone. We should be getting so much money this summer from players that we should be selling. And players that don't really impact the quality of our first 11 either, or our squad. Oh, look at that, man. The man himself. Everybody get your gong shis out for the gong shi. Jeez. I can't wait until we've got that on screen and I can just press a button and the gong can get whipped out. And then we can get this rested up there next to Nomeo Fernandez and the Munich Memorial Book. There's a comment there that caught my eye. Flourish saying, Sam, why do you want to sell Henderson? After that, I hold on to, I don't know, I think the Rooney situation taught me that I always thought I could never hold a grudge, but it feels like I can hold grudges against footballers much, much easier than I can hold grudges against friends or family. I'm not very good at holding grudges against friends or family, but footballers, well, if you say something, I will not forget it. And I was always pissed off with Rooney after what happened with him and Ferguson. And then I realized I probably shouldn't have been so harsh. But Dean Henderson, that interview he gave when he left, he said, "No, I've just left before Ten Hag could speak to me." It's definitely not Nomeo Fernandez, isn't it? It's Bruno. I just completely made a new name up. I'm having a mare today. I whipped out the worst Erik Ten Hag joke that's ever existed. That's unfortunately existed on camera. I blame somebody for sending a super chat there. You absolutely rinsed me. Actually, you didn't, to be fair. I did it myself. But 30 mil for him. Look, last couple of minutes of the show, been a bit of a wild show today, I think. A bit feral, I think we'll call it. Feral from me. Any questions you've got? Last couple of minutes of the show, you can ask me whatever you want. It can be about football, can be about, I don't know, anything. The top line of the show is that we're seeing reports like this from ESPN. For me, it feels like a threat. That's the way I've described it, as a threat, and that's the way I'm going to leave it. I don't think it's going to be a threat they follow through on. Look, shit, it might be, but I don't see the benefit of it. It's a dumb threat if they follow through with it. Like, they don't win here. Matt, how are your ears this week? All sorted? Yeah, I got a little like drip from the pharmacy. Did that, like lay on the pillow, dry it out. I can pop my ears now. It's good. PPR, you're saying I took Henderson's comments as he didn't want to sit on the bench for another season. Henderson felt, with that Henderson situation, let's go back to this, right? He felt personally offended by the fact that he got COVID and De Gea came back into the first team and was so good that Solskjaer couldn't drop him. And he felt like personally offended by that. It's like, dude, that's how football works. It's like Martial getting injured and Rashford coming through and getting his opportunity. He didn't like boot Martial out of the team, but that's how Rashford started. It's what happens in football. You get your opportunity and you take it. And he felt like, no, sod that. I deserved it. I should have gone straight back in the team as soon as I was fit. I deserved it. And it's, I don't know. He felt very entitled to it. And I think that's what I didn't like. I don't like entitlement in any vein of life. I felt like he'd worked his chance. I think he can feel hard done by, sure. But personally attacked, nah. It's just what happens in football, man. That's what I think. Luke, you're saying, do you think Chelsea pose a threat on Thursday? Honestly, no, I don't. United at Old Trafford. If you want to hear my prediction, you can go and listen to the podcast. I've thrown it in there, and I'll do it for my preview that will go out on Tuesday. Wow, we play. I forgot we got a midweek game this week. I got used to it the last 2 weeks. I was like, don't have a game until the weekend. Can just relax a little bit, get some different content out. No, the last week, 2 games. I don't know. But anyway, you can see my prediction, and I'll speak about it in my my prediction show a little bit later this week. Wow, that was a little bit feral, that one. Lawnmower stop, though. That's nice of him. What's the end of the poll? Let's bring this up. Remember, there are 4 concepts that we've created. Purely concepts. I reiterate that word. Concept 1 for a new Old Trafford. Concept 2. Concept 3. And concept 4. And let me see what the poll is saying. Drum roll, please. We've got a clear winner, and that is concept A. So you've got 46% of you in the comments from 1,300. By the way, it's 1,300 of you that have voted, and there's only 470 likes on YouTube. So if you can, please drop a like on the video. It's 900 of you or so that can just drop a like on the video and change it in an instant. It'll make a big difference. Thank you very much. Anyway. Concept A is what a lot of you like. Let's see what happens. These are all just fun concepts at this point because we are probably, I don't know how far away we are from a new Old Trafford. Feels like a long time that won't get resolved until we've got new owners. I forgot to mention it until now. Look at that. Nearly an hour into the show. Anyway, I remember now. If you want to enter the raffle, there's only 8 days left on this. I will drop the link to how you enter. It's only £1 per ticket. Someone's won a PS5. Someone's won an Xbox Series X. This month, someone's just winning straight 500 quid cash. It is real. It's legit. There's no catch. It's exactly that. Someone wins it for £1. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, for engaging in the shows you do every single day. I'll be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. You can listen to the podcast. That dropped an hour ago. I'll be back at lunchtime with a lunchtime video. There's a short video that's going to go out on TikTok and Instagram. It's plenty of content. Take it easy, everyone.